Zapper's Voodoo Choo Choo contest submission sent in by one of our Discord builders and golden patrons, Shadow God 57. Thank you so much for your support. And they say, I had a tough time deciding on a game, but I've been playing Zapper for a long time and thought it would be interesting, yet obscure enough for this contest. Zapper is a story of a cricket who has his younger brother stolen by an evil bird named Magpie. During your adventures, Zapper visits many unique levels to reach the evil lair of Magpie. One of the levels is a Voodoo Choo Choo, a train that is possessed and full of dangerous things such as fire-breathing pumpkins, deadly whistles, claws that scrape the ground, a barbecue tender, and a wickedly weird eyeball engine. Since I've grown up with Zapper, I picked it because it was interesting, obscure, and a challenge for me. Each aspect of the level from the game I've chosen has a unique car. Some repeated, of course, but for the majority has a slight change. This level also gave me a chance to build a long coaster with the ability to see all the scenes from the level. The ride follows an accurate recreation of Voodoo Choo Choo level, but there are some added twists such as the loading dock filled with game props and a giant billboard depicting the game. Day is preferable, either car 1 or 5, seat 2 or rail. Ignore the Huntsman ride, it's only used for triggered events. Alright guys, here we are. It's broken down. No, Frontier. Hopefully we have mechanic? Oh, that fixed it. Huh. Did they fix that? Because that normally doesn't fix it. Look at all the guests. Oh my goodness. What is happening? Let's let them fill back up and look at the stats on this coaster. So I think we got a torque launched. Yes, indeed. We got 6.53 excitement, 4.97 fear, and a 2.14 nausea. There's the rest of the results if you want to see them, and I'll cut to it as soon as we're ready to go here. All right, very cool. Let's talk about it. So first up, the coaster itself. Some parts felt kind of unnatural to me, especially like this section here. It kind of bending and banking outward, going completely sideways up into the linked inversion. It just felt very strange to me. I probably would have brought that down and around and up a little bit smoother. Other areas of the coaster could use a little bit more, just a touch bit of smoothing and banking. Like right here, we should be going into the bank rather than just it drastically banking and then unbanking. I felt like just a little bit. Grab that banking tool, curve it all out really hard, and then smooth the transitions in between. So I think the coaster is close to being pretty smooth and fun. It just needs little bits of tweaks and improvements here and there. And definitely I feel like this area needs some fixing. In terms of your aesthetics, I think the train is quite cool. I've never really heard of Zapper, which is kind of odd to me. I'm pretty much grew up and played every game. You said you grew up on a game called Zapper. Surprising to me that I hadn't ever heard of it. I did a quick Google search and the graphics looked really cruddy. I mean, I might have gotten an older version of it. Let me check again. It definitely looked like a PlayStation 1 game or something. It might have made new versions recently. This one doesn't look too bad. Game Boy Advanced, PlayStation 2. Yeah, there's a lot of these strange PlayStation adventure games that I kind of chose to skip throughout my childhood and growing up, and this would qualify as that. So here you got a platformer game that you're moving across a train. I think you did a really good job representing that. In terms of a video game blueprint, it's really well done. However, it does feel like a level from Zapper with a coaster just plopped around it. So I think that challenge, you know, you gave yourself a difficult challenge. You built the train well, and then you kind of put a coaster around it. How would you take that to the next level? How would you make this a real integration of Zapper? Well, that's definitely a difficult thing to do. Maybe the train needs to be bigger, and maybe it's a ride that takes you through each of the segments, and you see little animations and triggered events going off through each of the sections. Or if the train's bigger, maybe you actually ride through the train, or maybe you build this more into a Western style park where there's a mountain, there's a giant tunnel, there's a canyon off to the side of us, so we see basically maybe the train is running on the edge of a mountain, and there's this giant fall off here, and we're riding a mine train coaster that kind of drops down beside it, pulls back up, pulls up beside it on its own tracks, and it kind of feels like at times you're trying to catch up and race the bigger train. So there's different things that I would have thought about to kind of integrate both your coaster and your environment into this big train. I think there could have been maybe a gigantic boarding station here, or all these other suggestions that I made, big tunnels. I would have loved to see all that integrated, and then the coaster's kind of passing by, and it feels like mini train, big train, and you know, you get this really crazy sense of scale. And you're passing by really beautiful environments. Because right now, this vibrant blue coaster is really detracting from the train itself, and it does kind of feel like just a coaster built around a train. So doing those suggestions that I mentioned, having that mine train go by, it would feel a little bit more natural, seeing tracks everywhere, tracks, wooden supports, instead of this vibrant kind of modern style coaster that you see from this. It does feel a little bit off-putting, but I have to say you nailed the look of Zapper based off of some Google images. It looks and feels like Zapper, and it does seem like we could platform our way across this whole train, which to me is very cool. I just feel like you have some clashing elements between the coaster itself and the decorations, so a little bit of a hit and a miss for me on this one. However, I still do think it's a strong creation based off of what you've done with the art. It's up to you guys, so let me know what you think down in the comments below, and be sure to vote at the end of the bracket. Take a look at the community tabs. That's where the voting form will be posted on the channel, and you guys get to decide the first, second, and third place winners of every bracket. And that's going to do it for this episode of Coaster Spotlight, everyone. If you enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. And if you'd like to support the show, you could do so by becoming a patron. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next contest entry. Bye now.